everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Lesego Rango, and on this channel it's all about learning, growth and contribution, the faith-based content. Guys, every time I have to shoot a video, I don't know if I should like glasses or no glasses, because if I don't have my glasses, I can't see the screen, but it's fine. I don't need to see me, you guys can see me. But I just wanted to do a part 2 of my London trip, and it is a bit delayed. I am sorry, I do apologize for the lag between videos, but that's because it's a festive season. Obviously there's Christmas Eve, and there's days after Christmas, and life is happening, you know. Families are getting together, there's traveling, there's all these things that are happening in between. So hopefully next year, January, things will start being more consistent and being more fluid, if I could put it like that. But I just wanted to round up this London part 2 trip, because I just thought that it really did help me, and I wanted to just share my insights. But where we left off, if you haven't watched this video, I'm going to link it up here, so watch that before you watch this second part of the trip. But like I said, we had just landed in London Heathrow. We did whatever we needed to do. I got up the stairs, I was struggling, but I went through anyway. And London is extremely beautiful, guys. Like, the weather might not be the best in terms of like sunlight, but I guess the energy around it and just the weather around it made it more London and made it more like what we see in the movie. So I was like pleasantly surprised with how beautiful the architecture is, how beautiful the buildings are, and just how beautiful everybody looks in general. Like, one question that I kept asking God is, where are you in this space, right? And for me, I don't think God is tied to a specific building or a specific thing. And so when I asked that question, God, where are you in this space, my eyesight was like open to seeing so many different cultures, so many different types of people, so many different diverse type of people and languages, guys. Like, I don't know, London is just like that city that is full of everyone, and then we decided to commute and we decided to get together in London. And so there were just so many different languages that I was hearing, and that really warmed my heart, because I think it just highlighted the awesomeness of God. Even though the buildings and everything was spectacular, the people, that's where it's at. And so when we arrived at our accommodation, we couldn't check in early because we had arrived at like 5 a.m. I think UK time, and obviously our times changed, and by the time we got there I think it was 7 a.m. and so our check-in time was at 12 p.m. so before then we just got changed. And this is a tip 101. I'm not like the best traveler, but I'm just so glad that, remember that time when I told you guys I'm going to Clicks to buy wipes? Wipes are essential for any travelers. You just don't know when you are going to have to take a bath. But me, guys, I grew up in a household that like pushed cleanliness, you know. So those wipes came in handy when we were told that we can't even check in, and so you had to do an Our Father and just get yourself ready to take on the day. And so we left our bags at the accommodation and we explored all of London, guys. 25,000 steps, walking Oxford Street, Regent Street, doing shopping like I have never experienced before. Like, I've explained on my channel that I'm not the best shopper, guys. I don't like spending my money, but this shopping is different. Like, this shopping is about sightseeing as well as going into stores and seeing how first world country people live. And I mean, I don't know, guys, like my heart is there. Every time I speak about London or I reflect about London, like my heart, like I feel like I left a piece of me there, because for me, even though I was in foreign land and it was very unfamiliar, there was just something about it that resonated, right? And I think the convenience of everything and how a first world country works, guys. Like, I was getting load shedding notifications while I was that side, and I was like, not me. I am on the other side where the things are working. Like, safety was not something that I had to worry about. And I think for a first time traveler, I was constantly checking if my phone was in my bag, because there were so many people walking the streets, and so every time they bumped into me, I wanted to like just check, is my phone still there? And after I think day 2 or day 3 of being there, I realized that like where we were was very safe, right? There was no hesitance in me or like worry in me to want to check my belongings and if they are there. And that is the one thing, or one of the one things that I really loved about being in London, is just the safety of it, the convenience of it. Even though those tubes, guys, I'm still a bit sour that I had to carry my bags. But besides carrying bags, like, the tubes are like this. Every 5 minutes there is a tube waiting, like, movement, guys. And the other thing is that I barely saw people on their phones. Like, people are literally in the moment. Like, people are experiencing, they are enjoying life. Like, in a shop, they are there to experience. Even the shops themselves are an experience. I'll never forget, my favorite shop on Oxford Street was actually Nike, because in Nike there was, like, I think 3 or 4 floors, and on every floor there was a DJ. And even the mannequins, for example, there was a paraplegic mannequin, there was a pregnant mannequin, there was a plus size mannequin. There was so much inclusivity in that store, and every floor had, like, a specific genre of music. And I'll never forget when I heard Amapiano. Hey man, guys, I don't think you've heard Amapiano when things are working, when there isn't load shedding, when there isn't people that you have to worry, is my phone here? Like, just experiencing that music in a safe environment. Listen, shout out. Shout out to first world countries that work, because it was such a simple thing. But I realized that, like, when you are overseas, right, you need to ask yourself, what do you value? And 3 things that I can identify for me that I value the most. I value convenience, I value my safety, and I value my sanity. I just want things around me to work. And I feel like the biggest lessons that I learned out of London is that people were not just on their phones or just preoccupied with doing things just to impress people online. And personally, I think that my biggest reward of experiencing and being exposed to an environment that I had never been in, something like that, I think I was just very thankful for my upbringing. I was really, like, thankful of a lot of things that I never wanted to be proud of, if I could put it like that, you know. When you come from humble beginnings, you don't want to spend too much time talking about your humble beginnings. You want to spend a lot of time talking about how you've progressed in life, how finally I'm a CASA, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I am a friend, I'm all these things that are very successful. But I think I am all of those things because of where it started and how it started, right? There's certain things that you go through that ground you, that really cement the type of person that you are, so that when you are in those environments, certain things cannot shake you. They cannot move you. You cannot be moved by money if you didn't come from money and it wasn't the solid foundation of your upbringing, right? Like, you cannot tempt me with what's not inside of me. And so the things that were inside of me that were hidden, I think they came to light when I was in that environment, because I had a new form of appreciation about even public transportation. I was very, like, upset at the fact that I used public transportation for the longest time when I was in primary school, high school, because it was so inconvenient. Like, you have to wait for the first load and then the second load, then you have to wait until like 3 p.m. until you're done with your sports. Then you have to wake up at like 5 a.m. so that you can be in the first load so that the second load can go. Like, there was just a lot going on that I had, like, built up anger, and I told myself I will never ever go back to that point in my life. I will never ever be associated with that. Like, I just don't know, maybe sometimes when you do have a taste of success, you just try to distance yourself from your upbringing and how you grew up. And so for the first time being somewhere where it was so different from where I grew up, I realized that I was able to appreciate those things because of where I come from. And so I really just found a new appreciation for life. I found a new appreciation of my visions and my dreams, right? Don't be afraid to dream big, and also to tap into yourself and ask God, what do you want me to do in this life? How would you like me to impact the people around me? Because environments are constantly going to be changing, right? But positive environments that are going to positively influence you, are going to bring out the best in you. The opposite is true. Environments that are detrimental, environments that are full of turn up, competing, wanting to bring people down at the expense of your own upliftment, those are the things that, like, keep you anxious, keep you worried, keep you preoccupied, instead of focusing on what you need to be focusing on, because you just want to be better and do better and like prove a point to people, you know. I don't know. I think I've outgrew that, and I'm so thankful that being a mom has really matured me in that I don't compete with my peers. Newsflash to my peers that are here. I do not compete with you. I don't have anything to prove to people online or people around me, because I know who I am truly, and I know the type of person that I would like to even mature into in the near future, you know. I know the type of mom and wife that I want to be, and so that influence comes from a variety of things, right? It shouldn't come from a place of envy or competitiveness or comparing yourself, you know. And I really had to ask myself, when I was at my previous employer, I really did want to do international travel, but because of the dynamic of how my life was at that time, I couldn't go overseas. But now that I had lived with my daughter, and even this trip, it was very short, it was only a week, it gave me the confidence to also want to travel more next year, and travel more in a work capacity, in a career capacity, without compromising my values, without compromising what I feel like is important, because you will be in the hype of seeing people online traveling, and you want to experience what they're experiencing. And it's all for vibes, guys. Like, when you whip out your camera in London, it wasn't that easy. I couldn't start vlogging, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Like, I couldn't do that. It just looked weird because everybody's experiencing, you know what I mean? And it couldn't be manufactured. Like, there's certain things that I really couldn't capture, even though I wanted to capture it. I captured it for myself in my heart with my eyes, you know. And it was funny that the camera, there's certain things that it can't capture unless you maneuver certain footage and put some music and make it sound nice. But I think sometimes you need to tap into yourself and realize, don't be so confined. Call yourself out, move from those places and experience different things. It doesn't even have to be London, for example. If you are from Klagsdorp, let's just say you're from Kanana, you know what I mean? Maybe go to Potch. I don't know. Maybe go to Bloom. I don't know. Maybe try to come to Johannesburg. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that deep, but like, there's just certain things that are revealed by your traveling. And for me, I was exposed to like beautiful areas, beautiful scenes, beautiful people, but I also was highlighted, or like my appreciation came back of where I came from and where I grew up. Like, I think I love my parents more. I love my grandmother more. I love my grandmother's house even more, because I got to see what's on the outside, because I realized that, hey, my parents, one thing about them and my family, they taught me God from a small age. Like, if there's one thing that I know about my family, is that my grandmother, every day at 12 p.m. without fail, she was praying, you know. And if you're exposed to praying women, you realize that life is very predictable, in that the things of this world, they may seem they're changing, but life is just very predictable. We grow up, we work, we have kids, we get married, or the other way, we get married, we have kids, we buy houses, we retire. Like, it's just very predictable. But like, what gives you the fullness of life is just being secure in who you are. And some people, because they're not secure, they might have everything. They might have the houses, they might have the fancy clothes, they might have the Botox and the lipos. Hey, those women there, that side, they were manufactured, guys. You know, they might have everything, but if it's not important to you, there's no need to like want to put some emphasis on the things that really you have no business being in. But I really did enjoy my trip, and I really wanted to make sure that this part 2 does not just focus on the nice things that I experienced, but the lessons that I learned. And I want to invite you that in your next travel, or wherever you decide to go, even if it's local, make sure that you also understand the type of person that you are, so that you can learn from it. I've learned so much about my even future travels, and how to travel, how to pack my bag, how to not lose my passport, how to keep in touch with my family while being on the other side, how to also be in the moment and not constantly be on my phone trying to see who's doing what on Instagram, who's posting what on YouTube, but just trying to be in the moment and experience and have love around me. And that's what the trip was. It was full of love. It was full of new experiences. Shout out to my company, guys. I just love my company, and I just wanted to say that so that they know that I really love that company. Because I don't know, there's just something about corporate that kindness, love, those words, you never want to use them in the same sentence. They just kind of feel like, don't leave my mouth in the same line saying those things. Like, how are you enjoying work? But I really found a new love for even my career, knowing that like my offering, even though it can be mental, who I am as a person also contributes to the holistic view of the company. And so don't shy away from being your authentic self in a corporate space. But otherwise, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. My next coming videos is going to be a series that I have been pondering and thinking about, and I really hope that you can gain insight from it. It's going to be very detailed, it's going to be very new, and it's also going to be very vulnerable. I had a friend who asked me like, why don't you do this thing? Like, why don't you take this thing seriously, you know, having tears in her eyes. And I feel like that was the moment where I realized, okay, Lesotho, stop playing games. In as much as you know how to explain accounting and explain auditing and corporate, there is a gift that you have of teaching, and teaching the Bible. Funny enough, the Bible. And I have been in doubt whether I should like step into that element, not because of how it's going to be received, but also from my own confidence. Are you ready to share your insights? Are you ready to share your own revelations and your own epiphanies? And I get a lot of questions about like my faith, and like people love the fact that like I am so balanced in that I will talk about corporate and I'll still incorporate God, but the biggest part of my life is like faith-based, and I just wanted to explore that deeper and maybe give you some advice and some tips on how I read my Bible and how to read your Bible and how to work on your relationship with God, and knowing that with any relationship there's going to be ups and downs, but the best relationships or the healthy relationships are those where there's always reconciliation, there's always a space of safety where you can come back and rekindle that love and that joy. And for me, every time I open my Bible, I realize that like I can always come back to a safe space, and that God is always ready to receive me. And so some people may have that understanding, but they may not even know, where do I start reading the Bible? How do I work on my relationship? Like, how do I invest in my faith, and how do I lean into my faith, you know? And so I hope my next coming videos are going to enrich you greatly, immensely, and I really hope that you can join me on this journey. Please don't forget to like, to comment, to share, and to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.